Call it that.
Not for consumption.
You might have a vision problem if you drink that stuff.
What is it, Everclear?
I know you get most of the way through a bottle of 101 Wild Turkey, you have a little trouble seeing right.
Yeah.
I came over to my office, Ron. I couldn't take your feedback last time.
Okay.
It was freaking me out.
Good. It sounds a lot better.
I think it was just too much in one room.
Yeah. No, if you got two people hooked up in the same room, you get too much back and forth feedback, and the system's trying to hear everything.
Yeah.
Much better. There we go. All right. That makes sense. There we go. Morning, Ryan.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hi.
Hi, I just wanted to watch and see if I can
Yeah.
do this.
All right.
John Young said no one can hear him.
Really? He's got to
He's
check.
in the council room.
He's got muted. He needs to turn on his microphone in his tablet. He's got that X'd out or something.
Okay.
Lisa, I'm touching you. Lisa. I think she's muted.
Lisa's not on audio yet.
I got you.
And unmute Jennifer. There we go. Morning,
Hello.
Jennifer.
Morning. Can I see her?
Go ahead.
You're good. All right. Admit.
I'm muted.
I hear them.
Where's
Just heard
Valerie?
John.
Valerie's on. She's not connected to audio yet. She's booting up.
Okay.
How you making out, Danielle? Nope. Unmute Valerie. There we go. Morning, Val.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't, there was no audio or anything for me before, so, okay, good.
Let's see.
Where'd John go?
I don't know. He might be coming in here. He couldn't get his audio to work for some reason. We got his video. He's hooked up to the network. Network's working fine. Okay. Worst comes to worst, I'll go fetch him.
Yep, I see his picture. John, are you on?
Oh, here we go. Hold on. There we go, John.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yep.
Sounds like you're in the bottom of a barrel.
Close that door for me, dude. All right, so what I'm doing now, I'm managing. Let me mute me.
Are we ready?
I'm ready, if you're ready.
Here we
Oh,
go.
good.
Now, I'd like to call this meeting to order and state that it is being held in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. It was properly noticed and has been posted and certified by the clerk. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hofferkamp,
Here.
Ms. Johnson,
Here.
Ms. Roberts,
Here,
Mr. Schindler,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Young,
Here.
Mayor Francis.
Here. Now we'll do the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the United States of America and to the republic
Republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice to all.
Thank you. There's no proclamation, and we'll start with the committee reports. Dawn?
thanks, Mayor. Everything's okay over here. We are definitely filling the gaps. So to date, we have, since March 5th, I should say, we have helped 53 families. As you've all heard, I know employment is taking an inordinately long time. So until then, while people are waiting for checks, and also we have people with underlying health issues that really can't go out. We do have a lot of donations from multiple counties, private residents across multiple counties, as well as a couple of corporations. So we will continue to fill the gaps until people don't need anything anymore, until after this crisis is over. We will be here. So if anyone has any needs, just contact the center. But all is well. Everything is status quo. And we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Brad?
Mike, I thought it'd be interesting to give a little update on the coronavirus. As of noon yesterday, you put out some information I found interesting. We have 536 cases of the coronavirus. In Hopatcong, for everybody's information, we have 59. It's interesting, and the town's smaller and everything like that. Andover has 99. They're running nearly 20%. Don't understand that exactly. And population of Sussex County estimated is 141,000. By comparison, Beijing, of over 20 million people, only had 590 cases. We're at 536. Just a little sidebar information on the coronavirus there. The Lake Hopatcong Foundation is sponsoring the block party, and that has been moved now to October the 10th. They rescheduled the date to October the 10th. As you know, Mayor, we've been working on in the Finance Committee regarding the white collar employees contract, and that should be coming along pretty soon, we hope. Just a reminder, everybody out there, tax day is usually today, April the 15th, for both the federal and the New Jersey state tax payments. Deadline's been extended to July the 15th. And Mayor, you might want to speak as to our policy as it relates to our upcoming quarterly tax payments this coming May. This will be our last meeting before then, I believe. So that's all I have at this point in time.
Rich? Rich, take it off mute.
There we go. Am I good?
You're good.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Anyhow, I just want to reiterate what Brad was saying. We have been working on the white collar contract, and hopefully that's going to come close to being finished here soon. The other thing is I really want to put a big thank you out to our first responders. This is a challenging time, and please thank them when you see them. Fire, rescue squad, police, they are really on the front lines of this. as Brad was saying, that the numbers have been increasing, and obviously the risk for them is definitely increasing. So my hat's off to the first responders. Thank you very much. Next, I just wanted to hit a positive note, and we'll see some of this during the budget presentation, next meeting and everything. But our debt for the town has been dropping. And I just want to say our notes over the last 2 years have come down over $337,000. That's a 7% decrease. And it's going definitely in the right direction. Our bonds over the last, let's say 7 or 8 years have dropped a huge amount. We're down 76%. And as of January 1st, we only had $1.3 million in bonds out there. So I just want to say that we're really working hard as a council and as the finance committee moving forward. And I just wanted to say that a little bit. Okay, that's it.
Thank you. Ryan, you're up.
There, I'm unmuted. Couple of things from the Chamber of Commerce. Our Sussex South meeting will go on as scheduled on April 21st via Zoom, just like we are here. The Economic Development Partnership Awards Luncheon has been moved to June 19th. Those are the two things from the Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Committee. From the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, the dump up in Lafayette is still open on its regular hours, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., Monday through Saturday. That's all I have.
Thank you. John? John, are you on? Take it off mute, John. I don't think you heard me, Ron.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes. I don't think the courtroom works real good, Ron. We're still having trouble with that Wi-Fi.
Well, if you can hear me, pretty much everything from Recreation, Municipal Alliance, Environmental, and on hold. However, the Recreation Commission is planning on doing the Easter egg hunt when all these social distancing restrictions are lifted. Whether that's going to be May, June, or whenever. So we are still planning on doing that. She also runs the senior center, which is center for the county food program. We have about 6 or 7 seniors that really depend on those meals, and the county still delivers them to us, and we've been delivering them to those people individually. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Ron, we shouldn't use the courtroom when we have future meetings. That Wi-Fi is terrible in there.
It's not the Wi-Fi, Michael. It's his device. We had a laptop in there when we bandwidthed it, and it flew. So I got to look at his device.
Okay. Jennifer, you're up.
All right. Nothing really on the schools. The Scouts are meeting virtually, which has been really fantastic. They have some great plans for some community service in town. We've checked with all the appropriate places to get approval for that. We're going to kind of try and do some community service to liven things up while keeping socially distanced and wearing masks with the boys. They're not going to ever be together. But we have something really nice planned for the firehouses and the ambulance squad right now. Schools, we're on spring break right now. It's been interesting to say the least. And I think that the governor is going to be making a statement on Friday as to what the plan is, or I can't remember now. There's been so much stuff, but it's they're close to the end of the month now till April 30th. So I think that the plan is for him to follow up on Friday with any additional executive orders on the school closures for the state. Other than that, be patient with unemployment, as Dawn was saying. I know that I was filing incorrectly for my husband. So if anybody needs help, I'm a pro now. I think we missed a week, but that's, it is what it is. And, just keep trying to patronize the local businesses. I know my family has been trying to eat out, which we don't ever do really, but we've been trying to patronize the small restaurants around town at least twice a week. So that's all I have.
I've been assured by the governor's office that in the case of unemployment, you're going to get everything that you have coming, even if you had a problem early on. And if you do have a problem with that, let me know and I'll contact his office again. But if whatever you're entitled to for the whole term, you're going to get, just maybe not as quick as you'd like.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, Ron, administrative report.
Just two things, Mayor. April 20th, we have a pre-construction meeting with DOT, the new contractor for the River Styx streetscape program. Long and short of it, as we all know, the governor has suspended all non-essential construction. The request came in from the Department of Transportation to have the pre-construction meeting so that we can have that done, have all the details that we got to have ready before we get into the startup meeting, so that if and when the governor releases the non-essential construction, we can get started. So that's going to happen. We're doing that through Zoom as well. That'll happen between our borough engineer, myself, and all the DOT representatives. The second thing I want to tell all our visitors that are on Zoom today, if at the public comment you would like to ask a question or make a comment to the council, on the bottom, very bottom right-hand side of your Zoom picture, you will see a button that says reactions. Click that button and you'll see two things. You'll see a hand that's waving and then a standard hand that's clapping. Press either one of those two. That will notify us that you want to ask a question. That way we can select you. If I unmute everybody can talk over everybody and we can't synchronize that. So at the public session, if you could be so kind as to hit that hand and we'll get you into the meeting. Other than that, that's all I got, boss.
Thank you. Approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion on the minutes of the regular meeting, April 1st.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Second,
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hofferkamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Approval of the bills list?
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
are we skipped over public comment? Are we doing that? Or are we?
Oh, yes,
waiting till
I'm
later?
sorry. I apologize. I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public. I'm reading and writing at the same time. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. I moved to go to open.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're open. Welcome, public. Hope this works for you.
Can I go first? I don't know who's unmuted. It's Heather Fiore, Windsor Avenue. I just wanted to find out if the recycling center is going to be open soon. Hello?
Yeah.
Mary, you want to answer that?
Yes. Well, we're looking at them options as we speak. Actually, I'm going to talk with our DEP people, our health people. I'd like to do something with it, but we currently are picking up leaves. If you put your leaf bags out, we'll pick them up. We do it for the entire month of April and also May. And depending on how this goes, we'll just extend it another month. But if you put stuff in a leaf bag, we will pick it up. I believe.
Yeah, no, the problem with that is that you have to go to the store to get leaf bags. which we're trying to avoid doing. So that's all. I just wanted to find out if it was going to be soon. Thank you.
Okay. More public?
Mayor, if I may comment on that, the facility up at Lafayette is still open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 2.
Ryan, is there a charge for using that recycling center?
All of the information on what there are charges for and what there are charges not for is on the website. That's
Okay.
sussexmua.org.
Thank you.
Okay, we got one more public coming in. You're on.
Is that me?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's great. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Jerry Gruenfelder, Idleroy Trail in Hopatcong. There are a number of things I'd like to raise with the members of the Borough Council. Number one, has anyone had an opportunity to check to see whether or not any of the outstanding bonds can be refinanced? Number two, based upon everything I've seen and heard, I anticipate the possibility of a perhaps significant drop in tax revenues. And I wonder if the borough can come up with any kind of fallback plans in case that does happen. Next, is there any news on Hudson Maxim? And last, has the borough considered the opportunity to buy fuel oil futures right now with crude oil being at an all-time low? Those are my points. Those are my questions.
All right, Ron, maybe you can help that. I can address Hudson Maxim School. I've heard nothing on the progress or lack of progress on that. Oil or fuel futures, I would be very careful. We're not in the habit of investing in any futures as such, but we will take advantage of the low fuel cost. We'll certainly do that. And the other issues, Ron, I think you can address that.
Yeah, as far as the outstanding bonds refinancing, we'd have to go back to the Treasury, and we're regulated on what we can and can't do with that. I'll have our CFO give you a response back to that officially, but there's some things that we're restricted to do under the local finance law. But we will take every opportunity to do that if it's advantageous to do that. As far as fuel, we buy off the co-op now. We're getting very, very, very economic fundings on the fuel prices. I don't know that, again, we'd have to call Trenton. I'm not so sure that we can even buy futures. I don't think public monies can buy futures, but we'll get that answer. Other than that, that's what I got on that.
Okay.
You might want to add, Ron, that there'll be a freeze on all capital expenditures until this coronavirus.
Right, exactly. We've capped down everything. We've all our O&E expenses we've capped down. We've had to. We've been in emergency funding now for the past 4 months. We don't have an approved budget yet, so we are very tightly gripped on the O&E side. All capital budgets, while we'll approve the capital budget, we put clamps on everything. The only thing that we have in capital right now, you'll see on your resolution today, was last year's money on a truck we've already bought. We've got to outfit it. It's last year's capital. It's not any new money that's going into this truck, and this truck is replacing 2. We've already traded the truck in, and we lost another one to a fire. So this one's replacing that one. That's all the capital that we're even looking at spending right
now. Thank you. More public?
How about the drop in tax revenues?
I've asked our tax collector to start putting in a weekly report on that, Gerald. We're going to start looking at that now. We'll know more about that at the next billing. We'll have a better idea of that. She has already started looking at where we're at compared to previous years. We should have that data very soon.
Okay. Can I ask that you at least explore the purchase of fuel oil futures? It doesn't mean that you have to take delivery on the future, but if you buy a future at this price, and the price will go up, as I assume it will, you can sell the futures at the price indicated on the future, and you realize the difference is revenue.
I get it. I completely understand. I worked for Alcoa before I came here, and we were in an alloy plant. We hedged all materials all the time. I'm very used to the process. I don't know under governmental regulations that we can take public money and do that yet. That's the question. I will definitely explore it because there are huge financial advantages to doing it. And I just don't know if under the Jersey is extremely bureaucratic when it comes to
No kidding.
public money. So we will get that answered for you.
We'll look into that.
Okay, thanks very much. That's all that I have. The only issue that I have with these Zoom meetings is that because they're electronic and distant, I don't have the opportunity to throw anything at anybody.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. We
That was
appreciate that.
that was one of the benefits we didn't expect, but more public. Going once, stick your hand up. Oh, entertain a motion to bring it back.
I'll make a
All right,
motion.
I move to bring it back.
All in
Second.
favor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're done.
Aye.
All right. Now we can approve the minutes for the meeting of April 1st.
We already did that, Mayor. We're on the bills list.
Okay, we're on the bills list. I'll entertain a motion.
John? John, are you
So
there?
I will move,
Yeah, go ahead, Rich, take it.
I will move the bill list. Does anyone, is it in its entirety? Does anyone have any issues with any of the bills that need to be pulled out?
No.
No. If I hear none, I'd like to move the whole bill list as it is.
A second.
Call the roll, please.
Okay, Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
John, Ron, is he in the courtroom?
Is there a little,
Why don't you run over there, Ron, and just see if he says yes or not?
Oh, hold on, he's coming.
I'm a yes on the bill list.
There we go.
All right, thank you.
Hey, John.
So approved.
There you go.
More technical improvements we have to make, but we'll get there.
I'm just gonna get a
I'll let-
laptop for that room. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, do we have a consent agenda on this?
We do. Yes,
All
we
right,
do.
I'll entertain a motion on consent agenda.
I'll move it.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ordinance, we have the final hearing on the open space funds. This is the final reading on that.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to table that. The Open Space Committee has not met yet and had a chance to discuss it. So for now, I'd like to table that if possible.
We do have to have the public hearing because it was advertised as today, but we can table the adoption.
Okay, so let's open the public hearing on that ordinance, okay?
You know.
I'll
And
make a
so-
motion. Need a motion.
Motion to open to the public, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're
Aye.
open to the public on an ordinance to appropriate $40,000 for municipal open space
Now,
for the purpose of recreation improvements. So I'll entertain any public comments on that.
I did. I unmuted everybody. And they can comment all they want. Everybody that's muted here has done it themselves.
There's Jewel.
I don't hear any comments.
None, boss.
All right. I entertain a motion to bring it back.
Wait a second.
Lisa?
Oh, Lisa's in, hold on.
Hi. Okay, so like John said, open space has not met yet, and or actually we had an initial meeting, but yeah, I think just to weigh in on the funds as an open space committee, since there hasn't been an open space committee per se for the past couple of years, just so that as a group we can discuss it. And again, we're not going to be having a meeting within this week. So I know Jewel and I were talking about this a couple of days ago. So I don't know if Jewel wants to weigh in or not. That's all I have to say.
Lee?
Can someone say what this money is actually for?
It's to replace the some of the equipment in the playground on the what would you say, the western side, the southwestern side,
Where the little kids play.
Over
Yeah,
Moated Park,
Basketball
correct?
courts
Moated
next
Park,
to where the
right?
kids are.
For the little kids' playground equipment, it's kind of in bad shape.
Okay,
That's
thank
in
you.
Moated Park, correct?
That's
Correct.
in Moses
Yeah.
Park. Yes.
That's correct. And remember, you're not authorizing expenditures of funds today. This is
Right.
not, you're not spending any money. You're just queuing it up. There'll be another resolution that would come through that would award the contract to do the expenditure. So you're just setting budgets up right now with this ordinance.
More public?
This is Jewel Gurman speaking. Hi, everybody. I'd just like to weigh in on this a little bit. I feel that we, as an open space committee, we are, we have some input as to whatever is to be spent on a program like this. And I think that we should, while we could pass this today, I think that the rest should wait until we have
Absolutely.
an opportunity to discuss it.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Where this comes bad is that
More public?
you got to get busy.
Move to bring it back.
Second.
All in favor?
Do this.
Aye.
Okay, we're back. So that's the public hearing part. Now on the motion to table the proposed
vote.
ordinance.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
This is to table?
Yes.
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 Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
You could.
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Distribute all of them, but you gotta find
Okay.
council people.
Resolutions. Resolution 2020-70 Broadway and Monroe Trail DOT grant to Denville, to award the grant to Denville lining, Denville line painting.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Can I ask what these, yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Resolution 2020-71 Broadway Monroe Trail DOT grant to Tilcon Paving. Award the grant for paving.
So moved.
So move it. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Resolution 2020-72 restriction on short-term rentals. This is being presented as part of the governor's executive order that regulates short-term rental, which are defined as less than 30 days, primarily for air, bread, and breakfast.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts, sorry.
Yeah, yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2020-73, award of dump body plow and sander purchase to Sanchez.
So move it.
Second.
Call the roll,
Mr.
please.
Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
2020-74, emergency temporary appropriation for the sewer utility budget.
So move it.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Resolution 2020-75, emergency temporary appropriations for the water utility budget.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Resolution 2020-76, emergency temporary appropriation for the current fund budget.
So
Make a
moved.
motion.
So move it.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
There's no more resolution that I know of, right?
No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Old business? Any? New business. I have two things on the new business that I would like to give the council, and that's the first one is Modic Park, and to allow people to walk on the walking path, provided they abide by all the governor's executive orders that has to do with social distancing and wearing masks. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. People are getting stir crazy inside. As long as they're wearing masks and gloves like they're supposed to be and keeping 6 feet apart, I'd be for it.
I'll entertain a motion on that.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The second one involved the fire trucks going to kids' birthdays. There was some, I think in my opinion, it was a little bit much. I did contact the governor's office directly. The executive order 104 does not prohibit that, but they asked that we keep it under control and keep it as a smaller event, if at all possible. But that would be, in my opinion, no more than 2 or 3 fire trucks in the neighborhood of that particular fire department. So what do you think?
Yes.
Again, I'm for it. I happened to be out over the weekend when the fire trucks didn't hit our street, but a street up the road. And my neighbor was out with their 4-year-old kid and son, and he was ecstatic. He wasn't even in the party technically. He was ecstatic, and he asked, "What's happening? What's happening?" And I told him that, you know, someone's having a birthday, and because you can't have parties, you can get the fire department to come. And he was all excited about that because he did have a birthday about 3 weeks ago and nothing happened. You know, his mom made a cake. So I'm for it.
So I think we should limit it to no more than 3 trucks and let the fire department use their discretion on how they schedule it or not. They might not want to do it, but I want to give them some clear guidance on this so there's no confusion and that we all are on the same page.
Is that another guest come through?
I think
Yeah,
that they're
I
as
agree.
equally concerned with the social distancing, the fire department themselves. So, I mean, I think it's a great thing. My son's birthday is mid-month next month, so I got nothing. So the fire trucks are going to be awesome. They love the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny came through. They didn't even see the Easter Bunny because we're on the opposite side of the street. They were jumping up and down. They were so excited. So, I mean, as long as they're following the rules and the laws, then.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good point. It's always a caveat. So when it comes to ambulance squads, police departments, and fire departments, there's some discretion that they use. I mean, how can you have a fire and tell the firemen they have to be 6 feet apart? That simply does not work. So the firemen have to use their discretion. My expectation would be, and my suggestion or recommendation to the fire department would be, one person in the truck. You go to the firehouse, you bring the trucks, each person brings the truck, they make their round wherever they're going, and they're done. So there's no meeting, there's no socializing, and they keep their social distancing as much as they practically can under the circumstances. And I don't think that's unreasonable to ask them to do that.
I don't either. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with it too.
Well, I'll entertain a motion so that we're clear and the council is in agreement that we're going to do that with very close controls.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I will talk to the chief, the respective chiefs, tell them what we talked about. I don't need 47 vehicles. I think it should be, one or two or three fire trucks can make a lot of noise. I think that really impressed the kids. And when you see their faces, when that truck goes by and they blow that loud siren and see them lights, it just lights up their life. I mean, I think it's important for our children, especially.
It took us one or two times to get used to it. I mean, we thought something.
All right, so I'll give them direction on that. Now it comes to my comments, and I have a couple, so bear with me, please.
Hey, Mike, before you hit your comments under new business, I just wanted to bring up one thing that we don't have to vote on or anything today. But one of the things I think we should look at, and I don't know if any of the council people or any other people in the office that need this, but maybe we should look at getting a tablet or two for some of the individuals who might not have good video connections for this. And I don't know with John, if it was his actual tablet or if it was the Wi-Fi. I mean, the tablets are very, very inexpensive.
Listen, Pat's in there.
And it's just something that maybe we do. We're saving a ton of money not printing everything. So it's just something. I don't need one, but I'm just throwing it out there. So maybe that could be a discussion at a later date.
That's a good point, Rich. Actually, tablets don't work near as well as a laptop. If we're going to spend that kind of money, I'd rather just have a laptop that the borough owns, and that we can maintain. I think every council person should have one. If they don't, let's look at that. I would ask Cablevision or whoever the hell they are now. I know we have some grant money from them for technical expenditures. So Ron, if you would look into that, we certainly have a minimal amount of funding at least for that. And I think that's a good point, and that would keep us well connected. And I think it's money well spent. Anybody that has a problem, doesn't have a laptop with the camera on it, we should look into at least getting one with the minimal requirements so that we can have our Zoom meetings.
I got it, Mike.
All right. So the coronavirus at the county level, I've been trying to share whatever I have. And so when I get the thing from Jim McDonald, I forward it to every council member so that you have the same information I'm getting from the county. Some of it I've asked them to improve a little bit, but they really have their hands full at the county level. So I understand that. But aside from what I've distributed to you, there are a total of 29 deaths in the county to date. As far as I know, only one in the Hopatcong. So that's our fatality when it comes to that. And by the way, if you look at the long list, a big long list that I send you, in chronological order. If you look to the right, the asterisk at the end in the last column is a fatality. So that's how you read that table I'm sending you. It's like an Excel spreadsheet. And so that's how you can count the fatalities. It's 29. I might have miscounted. I might be 30. I'm not going to count now, but 29 or 30. And I really want to thank all the volunteers that are working in our town. I mean, the people in need in our town, I'd like to believe that no one is hungry that we know about. If someone's hungry in our town, reach out to our office, to Dawn at the community center. There's a lot of people that are helping. Alec McLean has been doing a great job up at the school. They've scheduled a drive-through. Dawn is out there delivering. We're also talking to another person that has reached
All
out
the lacrosse games are canceled.
through Senator Bucco to me to also see if we can help. I don't, what that may or may not materialize, but there's a lot of good stuff going on, and I'm nothing but thankful to the people that are spending a lot of time, a lot of effort, and donating a lot of food, by the way, to help the people in town are in need, you know, and the unemployment problem, you know, if you don't have the money, you can't buy the food. Please call us or have them contact us. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be shy. We'll get you something, even if it's a box of cereal and half a gallon of milk. I mean, we got to get you something to eat. You're not going to be hungry in our town if we know about you. I can make that commitment. The late fees and interest rates have been, we will not charge late fees and interest fees for this quarter. And let's take it a quarter at a time. And so I don't want anybody worried about that. I've asked for help from the governor. I want a fund established for our community so that if we need to, we'll pay your utility fee. Right now, we can't because we don't have the funding for it. But I've asked the governor's office and also Mikey Sherrill and Cory Booker to make a fund available that we could draw from. If we don't use it, fine, keep it. But I believe that there should be a fund there so that we don't put people on a roller coaster with their bills. And so we can forgive interest fees and late fees. We can't forgive the payments. But if there's some way that I can get grant money for a quarterly payment for someone, I'm working very hard to do that. I don't know if I can do it, but it's very simple. I'm going to keep trying to do it. The HAB grant that I applied for from the state was 145,000 or change, whatever it is, has been approved. We did open the bids. The bid has been awarded to Everblue Lakes. And so because of the circumstances and timing, I don't quite know what I can do with that just yet. But to give you some details on that, the approximate timeline, I don't know. Is our lake essential? My question to the governor's office is addressing the HAB issue in our lake, is that essential work or not? That's where I have to start. I can't do anything if they say our lake is not important enough to say that addressing the HAB, the algae blooms, is not essential. I have not gotten a direct answer yet. I have everything in place. We're working with the DEP on the last issues of the actual mechanics of the grant. And for example, I'd like to get equipment in place, and so if I have to buy the equipment, can I pay for it and then draw from the grant to refund us for that? That's not clear yet. I think I can, but that's not final yet. And so for those of you who don't know, it's going to be aeration system for Crescent Cove. They did not approve the biologic treatment, but I do have a separate price for that. It'll be approximately 38 aeration diffusers in Crescent Cove. There will be an air curtain across the mouth of the cove, which is the bridge. That's 10 air diffusers. And that air curtain really stops the spread of the algae bloom from anywhere else in the lake to get into Crescent Cove, and it actually enhances the initial aeration of the cove at the mouth of the cove. And so I don't know what the final details are going to be from it, but I'm going to hold this up, and maybe this is a little picture of what the cove is going to look like. I don't know if you could see that, but you'll see the diffuser displacement, and we'll get a copy of that to everybody. But I'm pretty excited about doing that. We spent a lot of time on that. Hopatcong did this independently, and I did it independently because because I think Crescent Cove is just that important, and we shouldn't get lost in the shuffle of a very large lake. And it kind of worked because the DEP appreciated the fact that that's the worst lake, the worst cove on the lake, and that it's important that we address that for the health of our lake and our businesses. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And on a last note, really is what we're going through now. There's a lot of folks that are really stressed, and sometimes that shows in different ways. And I get it. So sometimes people say things they normally wouldn't say or behave like they might normally behave. I'd like to just cut them a little slack and hope that we keep our faith in what we all can do together and our abilities to get through this. Sometimes we don't get all the help that I think we should get from our state and federal government. I will continue to appeal to them to get help from our town. I'm very prejudiced with our town. I love our town, and I will keep working hard to get what I think are just due. We may or may not get it, but I can tell you that I have the utmost faith in our people, no matter who they are. I see it. I see it every day. I see how considerate people are. I see how they donate, how we tend to take care of each other. We can do that in an organized fashion, and I believe we are. So I'll just ask everybody to keep the faith in wherever that takes you. I believe we are going to pull through this and be better off for it. And the world we see as the result of this is not going to be world we saw before this. So I fully intend to keep using technology. I want to take this lemon that's been given us and make some lemonade, if you will, and hate to be corny. But I believe that if we pay attention, we can draw some good out of this, not the least of which is, even though we might have different opinions, and they might be seriously different opinions, that we all care about our town and want to keep investing our energy to make our town a better place. So with that, I would say I'm done. I'm sticking to it.
Mayor, if you will, I mentioned it during my committee reports, but we having an audio problem in the courtroom. We certainly all need to commend Dawn and her efforts at the community center, but also to mention again, Kathy Millian, our recreation coordinator. She's also delivering food and drug prescription items that some of our seniors absolutely need and that can't get out of the house themselves. So certainly need to commend her as well.
Yeah, we have, in my opinion, we have a lot of heroes, and they're stepping up to the plate. And they didn't do it because they're making $1 gazillion a year. They do it because they believe in what they do, and they believe in our town. And even though it gets a little discouraging, we have our share of critics, and okay, so this is America. But please keep in mind that everybody's doing the very best they can with what they have. And so the more people contribute to what we have by way of effort or just some kind words, or if we can make someone smile, if we drive a fire truck by a kid's house and make them smile, I think we're having a good day. Because that's what we're about.
Mayor, could I ask Ron a question real quick? I just realized, Ron, the issue with we had talked about earlier as far as helping Dawn out on what she needed to get done financially.
That's done.
That's done? Good. Yeah. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.